Oh, well, hi folks. Easter Saturday. Happy Easter, everybody. My hair's not getting any shorter. It's about time I started doing a bit of sowing now, sowing some of the tender stuff. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to sow me some lettuce. I've got little gem, some Webb's Wonderful. I usually grow multigrain, but I've run out of those, so I've just had to order some more. I'm going to grow a bit of wild rocket, maybe in some modules and in a pot. I'm going to do a second sowing of spring onions. I found some coriander seeds that I've never opened, which are best before 2015, so they're 6 years out of date, so we'll stick those in a pot and see if anything happens. And then finally we're going to get the old peas started off in the gutters, as usual, Hurst green shaft in the gutter. So I'll show you how we do that. But first of all, just set some of these lettuce off. Couldn't be easier as normal, just using my little 20 module half tray things. So if it was a full seed tray, there'd be 40 in it. I just grow 20 of each once a month this time of year. So we'll start off with a little gem. Thousands of seeds in these packets, so you can be quite generous, even though I'm only going to thin to one. Just put a little pinch in, make sure they germinate. 2 or 3 seeds. Like I said, you get about 3,000 or 4,000 in a packet, so there's no need to be stingy. And you're better having them than making them germinate than having some blank spaces. So a little pinch of seed in each one. Bog standard multi-purpose compost, and just give it a little riddle as always. And that's it. So what I'll do with these, as always, I'll just put them somewhere a little bit warmer than in this polytunnel, because it's going to get really cold over the next few nights. So you do need a bit of continuous warmth just to get them germinated, and then once they're germinated, you can just keep them in any sort of temperature really. So they'll go indoors until they've germinated. Just give them a quick watering in. That's them. I'll do exactly the same with the Webb's Wonderful and stuff. So what else have we got? Spring onions, going to sow a few more of those. Again, I want to put maybe 4 or 5 or even 6 in each module, because what I'll be doing, I'll be planting them out as a clump of little plants. So basically you get like a bunch of spring onions growing outside. When they start to mature, and you just pull the whole clump up. So again, just a pinch full, 5, 6, 7, 8, doesn't matter, because they all find their own space. I like to sow these, probably get 3 crops a year. So if I sowed the first ones in March, the start of March, sow these at the start of April, and then maybe a third batch at the start of May. And then we should be cropping all the way up to sort of Christmas time really. Again, couldn't be easier. They usually germinate pretty quickly, the spring onions as well. You can see I've got some here. They were the ones I planted a month ago, so they'll be ready to go out in about another 3 weeks or so. And then this next crop, just follow them on. So you just keep getting a successional harvest all through the summer and into autumn. So that's those. So I've got some pots. What I'm going to try in these pots, bigger pots, I'm going to put some wild rocket in there. I do like rocket, the wild variety. The seed, if I remember rightly, is absolutely minute, so I'm not going to do anything with these. I'm just going to grow them in the pot and just take the leaves as I like them and use it as sort of cut and come again. So as I said, the seeds are absolutely, yeah, you can hardly see them. Absolutely tiny, but where's the lens? If you can see them there, look, little, absolutely minute. So they don't need to be under that much soil. I'll just try and sprinkle these on. It's thinner than salt. Try and get them all evenly broadcast. Like I said, these don't need a great deal of compost over the top because the seeds are absolutely minute, so that's more than enough there. So that'll do for those. I've run out of these labels, so I've had to use these big giant ones. So that's the rocket done. Couldn't be easier. And then the next one, if I can find my tub, like I said, I found some coriander seeds. Best before June the 15th, December the 15th, December 2015, sorry. So nothing ventured, nothing gained. We'll chuck them in. They are in a sealed pack, so that should help. But you never know until you try. Nothing's lost. You can always use the compost again if they don't germinate. So I'm going to chuck the lot in here. Quite big seeds. They haven't lost the fragrance, so that's probably a good thing. So we'll chuck a big dollop of these in. The camera's gone a bit upwardly. Give those a bit of a riddle. And we'll see if we get some coriander. I do like a bit of coriander now and again. It does tend to go to seed quite quickly if you don't keep cutting it, but find my labels again. So that's the coriander done. Couldn't be easier. So finally we'll just show you how we do the gutter peas, sorry. Make a bit of room. As the name suggests, they're grown in a gutter. Get my peas out of the way. So I've got about a 10-foot row to do. So I've got this is about a 6-foot length. Move that so we don't knock them over. And I've got another short of 4-foot length. It's just basic guttering, plastic guttering. And what I've done, I've filled it with just the same, just bog standard compost to within about 3/4 of an inch of the top of the gutter. And I find that sowing them this way is, because you can germinate them indoors in a relative warmth, that they don't rot off, because at the moment we're getting really cold nights, and if it rains then there's more chance of them rotting off than germinating up here, so I just find it gives them a really good chance. And also the mice can't get to them until you planted them out, and by that time they're not really interested in them anyway because the seeds have gone. So I'm going to plant them just randomly. I put a lot more seeds than most people do. None of this spacing out 2 inches apart in dice. Get them all chucked on. The more pea plants you have, the more peas you get, as far as I'm concerned. So quite thickly sown. That's that. That's the first 6 foot. Put a few more on for luck. And with these, nothing cute at all. Just same with the compost. Just fill it up to the top. Lightly water them. I wouldn't overwater them even though they're growing indoors, because if you get them too wet, again they have a tendency to rot the peas. So there's probably enough moisture in the compost at the moment to give them enough moisture to germinate, but I will just give them a little sprinkling of water to help them on the way. I'll put them inside, then as soon as they start to germinate I'll bring them outside into the polytunnel. And then probably, it won't be more than about 3 weeks, when they're about 2 or 3 inches tall, they'll be ready to plant out. And the beauty with this is, you can make a trench in your bed, and you can basically just slide sections of this out into your pre-made trench, and you've got instant plants then, and they grow away happily. So that's the gutter peas, and I think that's about it really. So I've got a few things growing now. I don't know whether you can see me. The first potatoes have just started to come up, getting a few sprouts. These were the Nicola ones, just for the really early potatoes. I'll be planting some outside in maybe another 3 weeks or so, because I don't want to rush it too much, because like I said, we get frost up here till the end of May, so there's not much point in planting stuff really early. And the other things, like I said, we've got some of the spring onions that are planted. You see some of the shallots here. Leeks over there, thinned out. So it's all a bit oniony really, so it'd be nice to get a bit of leafy stuff going. Anyway folks, that's about it. Sowing my first lettuce, rocket, coriander and my first gutter peas of the year. See you later. Next time I do a video I might have had an haircut. See you later.